Sometimes, the most powerful acts of kindness happen in the moments when someone least expects to be seen. And this story begins with a scream. 8-year-old Lila was running barefoot across the tiny living room of their old rental apartment, her heart pounding like it was trying to jump out of her chest. She had just seen it, her stepmother, Carla, gripping her baby brother's tiny arm so tightly that little Noah let out a sharp cry of pain. Lila tried to reach them. She slipped on the wooden floor. But she kept running. "Please stop. You're hurting him," she cried, her small voice cracking. Carla didn't even turn her head. Her jaw was clenched, her brows pulled tight, anger boiling under her skin. "Don't tell me what to do," she snapped, dragging 1-year-old Noah toward the bedroom. "I swear this boy does nothing but whine. Just like you." Noah's little legs stumbled as he tried to keep up, but Carla's grip didn't loosen. Lila grabbed onto her stepmother's sleeve, pulling with all her strength. "He didn't do anything. Please." Carla yanked her arm free so hard Lila fell backward. A burst of pain shot up the child's elbow. And as she lay there on the cold floor, she whispered to herself, "Dad, please come home. Please." But Lila's father, Mark, wouldn't be home until late. Ever since he started working 2 jobs, trying to catch up on medical bills and rent, he barely saw the kids anymore. And Carla made sure the kids knew that she was the one in charge now. What Lila didn't know was that someone, a complete stranger, had just witnessed everything. 3 doors down lived Mr. Gabriel Hayes, known around town as a quiet millionaire. He didn't show off. He didn't brag. He didn't even drive a fancy car. People often wondered why a man with so much money would choose to live in such a modest neighborhood. But he always said the same thing. "I like being where people are real." He lived alone, spent most of his time reading in his garden, and kept to himself. But he observed things. He noticed small details. And today, as he walked past Lila's house on his way back from the grocery store, he heard Noah crying. At first, he thought it was normal baby fussing. But then he heard Carla yelling. He heard a thud. He heard a child begging, "Stop." His entire body froze. He stepped closer. The front window was slightly open. And he saw it all. Carla dragging Noah like he was nothing more than a sack of flour. Lila falling to the ground. Tears streaming down the girl's cheeks. The silent desperation in her eyes. Something inside Gabriel, the part of him that understood pain in a way few did, ignited. That night, he couldn't sleep. Those tiny voices kept echoing in his head. Please stop. He didn't do anything. By morning, Gabriel made a decision. The next afternoon, he knocked on the family's door. Carla opened it, surprised and immediately annoyed. "Can I help you?" she said sharply. Gabriel offered a gentle smile. "Hi, I'm your neighbor. I heard some noise yesterday, wanted to check if everything's okay." Her eyes narrowed. "Everything's fine. Kids cry. That's normal." Behind her, Gabriel spotted Lila peeking from the hallway. Her eyes were puffy. Her hands held Noah protectively against her chest. Gabriel leaned slightly so she could see him better. "Hi there," he said softly. Lila flinched like she expected to be scolded. Carla slammed the door halfway shut. "We don't need anything. Please leave." But Gabriel wasn't done. He came back the next day with groceries. Carla took them, reluctantly. The following day, he brought toys for Noah, nothing fancy, just something soft and safe. Then, slowly, he made sure the kids saw him as someone safe. Someone steady. Someone gentle. And Lila noticed. She noticed he didn't raise his voice. He didn't push. He didn't stare with judgment. He simply showed up. One afternoon, as they met outside near the sidewalk, Lila whispered, "Thank you." And Gabriel knelt to her level. "Do you need help, Lila?" he asked quietly. Her eyes filled with tears, but she shook her head. Kids loyal to their parents often don't know how to ask for help. Instead, she said, "My dad works a lot. He doesn't know." That was enough for Gabriel to understand. He didn't push further. He simply said, "If you ever need anything, anything at all, you knock on my door." "Okay." Lila nodded. Little did he know that moment would change everything. 2 weeks later, something happened that pushed Lila to her limit. It was raining so hard the windows rattled. Carla was in one of her moods again. The house felt like it was filled with smoke, thick, breath-stealing tension. Noah started crying. Just a baby needing comfort. Instead of comforting him, Carla snapped. "Shut up already," she screamed, storming into the living room. She grabbed the baby by his arm. "Too fast, too rough." Noah cried louder. Lila's whole body trembled. "Carla, please don't. Shut your mouth." The woman lifted Noah slightly off the floor by his arm. And that was it. Lila's heart shattered. She dropped the toy she was holding. And she ran. Out the door. Barefoot. Through the rain. Across 3 driveways. Straight to Gabriel's house. She pounded on his door with her small fists, her hair stuck to her face with rain and tears. "Mr. Hayes, please, please help. She's hurting him." Gabriel opened the door within seconds. And the moment he saw Lila's terrified eyes, something inside him, something buried and painful, rose to the surface. "Come in," he said firmly, grabbing his phone. "Stay with me." Lila clutched his coat, sobbing. "She's hurting Noah. Please save him." Gabriel didn't hesitate. He called the police. Then he ran. When the officers arrived, Carla tried to put on a show, talking sweetly, pretending nothing was wrong. But Lila's shaking voice, Noah's red arm, the bruises discovered later. It all painted a clear picture. The police removed Noah and Lila from the house that night. Mark rushed home from work the second he got the call. He broke down when he saw the bruises. He held his children close, tears falling freely. "I didn't know," he whispered again and again. "I should have protected you. I'm so sorry." As Mark spoke with the officers, Gabriel stayed quietly with Lila and Noah. He didn't try to take credit. He didn't try to be a hero. He just held Noah gently and let Lila lean her head on his arm. Her little voice trembled as she said, "Thank you, for helping us." Gabriel swallowed hard. "You did the brave thing, Lila. You saved your brother." She looked up at him. "I just didn't want him to get hurt like." She stopped herself, but Gabriel understood. He had grown up in a home where adults didn't protect him either. And in that moment, he vowed these kids would never feel alone again. Over the next few months, Carla was removed from the home completely. Mark focused on therapy, building trust again, and rebuilding his family. But there were hospital bills, new childcare expenses, legal fees. Rent was already late. One night, Mark sat at the kitchen table burying his face in his hands. "I'm failing them," he whispered. "How can I give them the life they deserve?" Gabriel, who had come over to check on the kids, gently put a hand on the man's shoulder. "You're not failing," he said softly. "You're trying, and that matters." Mark sighed. Trying isn't enough. Gabriel paused, then made a decision he had been thinking about for weeks. "What if I help?" he said. Mark looked up. "Help? I can't accept charity." "It's not charity," Gabriel replied. "It's gratitude." "Gratitude," Mark repeated, confused. Gabriel took a breath. Even after years of success, talking about his past wasn't easy. "When I was a kid," he said quietly, "nobody helped me. Nobody stepped in. I made a promise to myself that if I ever got the chance, I would be the person I needed back then." Mark's eyes filled with understanding. "And your children," Gabriel continued, "reminded me of that boy I used to be. So please, let me help." Slowly, painfully, Mark nodded. "What exactly are you offering?" he asked. "A fresh start," Gabriel said. And he meant it. Gabriel paid off the family's debts. He got Mark training for a better job. He helped them move into a safer home. He visited Lila and Noah often, not to spoil them, but to show them what healthy, gentle adults look like. Lila slowly grew into a confident kid again. Her nightmares faded. She laughed more. She played again. One day, as she and Noah sat on Gabriel's porch, she handed him a handmade card that said, "Thank you for being the light we needed." Gabriel didn't cry often, but that day, he did. Years later, Lila, now a high school senior, stood on a small stage at her graduation. She scanned the crowd, her dad, beaming with pride, little Noah waving at her. And beside them, Gabriel, the man who changed everything. When she stepped up to the microphone, she said, "I want to thank the person who saw me when I felt invisible. The person who believed me when I had no voice. The person who reminded me that kindness can save a life. Mr. Hayes, thank you for stepping in when we needed you most." The entire audience turned toward Gabriel. And for the first time in a long time, he didn't feel alone. After the ceremony, Lila hugged him tightly. "You saved us," she whispered. Gabriel shook his head, his voice soft. No, Lila, you saved Noah. I just helped finish the part you were brave enough to start. She smiled through tears. But you taught me something, she said. That there are still good people in this world. He squeezed her shoulder. There always are. Sometimes, they just need a reason to step forward. And with that, Lila walked off the stage, beginning the rest of her life with hope, safety, and love, because one man decided that turning away wasn't an option. Thank you for listening, and if stories like this touch your heart, please subscribe to Acts of Heart. Your support helps us spread more kindness, more hope, and more stories that remind us of the good in the world. Moral: when you see someone hurting, don't look away, your courage might be the miracle they need.